Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities.
Okay, thank you. It's very early here, so I'm feeling a little bit tired, so I don't look the freshest, sorry.
All good. You look great.
I feel like you don't see me at my best when I'm first wide awake first thing in the morning. But anyway, this is me. This is me at 6 a.m.
Thank you for joining me. Tell me, how can I help you? What did you want to go over?
I've been really, really happy with what I've been seeing, the results I've been seeing. But like I said the other day, it is tricky. It has been a tricky time with like work, and I know that's the whole issue really here, isn't it? You know, how busy we are, how stressed we are and everything, and that's obviously had to be addressed. But obviously that's highlighted probably some of the things I need to address, you know, in my life. And I think since the day on the 22nd of July, which was when I first found the first patch on the back of my head, which was my daughter's third birthday, I feel like I've made like a huge progress since then, because I just remember how awful I felt. That's only a few months ago, isn't it? But I was just determined straight away that this can't happen. You know, this just can't happen. You know, like I said the other day, like, you know, if this was something else, another autoimmune condition, you might kind of go, yeah, you know, I've accepted I've got it. But when it's your hair, it just makes such a huge difference, doesn't it? So I think from that moment, I literally thought, right, I know I've been really, really stressed with work, really bad, really busy. And I kind of knew over the last year and a half that something was going to give eventually. You know, I'd had cancer when I was 30, so like 13 years ago. And you always kind of think, oh God, I hope I don't get cancer again. You know, I know that sounds silly because you kind of should have addressed it at that point, but you know, that's happened, hasn't it? And my hair coming out is probably the way of my body kind of going, right, you've really got to sit up and listen now, you know. So then my hair started coming out at the back. So really obvious bit here, which is obviously like the worst bit. And I've got quite thin hair anyway. This is a hair piece, so, you know, you can't really tell. But it just got worse. So I went to doctors, they injected it. They injected my eyebrow here, which is where I've got this dink now. And I was just like, no, I'm not having these. I don't want to continually. I went to some like really good like dermatologists, paid some, because in the UK we can see people on the NHS, so you can get free advice, but didn't get any of that. Nobody would give me anything like that. Had to pay. Saw some top dermatologists, and all they would say is like you were talking about the other day, JAK inhibitors, you know, all these things that I just didn't want to keep taking. You know, since I've had cancer, I've been very, very mindful of not wanting to take any medication unless I really have to. And so this was all going against really what I wanted to be doing. And so I had quite a few, because my first thing was like, oh my goodness, what should I do? So I had quite a few steroid injections into my head and into my eyebrow here, like I said, but that's really bothering me now that I've got that dink there. But it just got worse. It just carried on getting worse. So I don't know whether it was just then the whole stress of everything just kind of continuing to come out, but it just got worse and worse. And like, so before I had this hairpiece fitted and before I started your course, it literally got to like this bit, which was really hard to cover. So my husband was like spraying it each day, and you know, I just didn't want to carry on like that. But since I've been on the diet, it did start like within 2 weeks, my hair started to grow back, and it is like baby hair and it's very fluffy. I've got loads and loads of like fluffy hair. I know, I was really pleased. And so I said to you on one of my, which is what kind of prompted this call, that I still am getting a bit of hair shedding, but now I'm thinking, am I getting hair shedding or not? It's trying to, at that tricky stage where it's like, is that just my normal kind of hair loss? It's not like chunks.
It could be the normal hair loss, because, and the thing is, it's like during alopecia, you do see at times hair growth and hair loss. Because the thing is, it's like there's other parts of your head that are going through different phases. You know, maybe the patch or the patches that you have, you're seeing hair growth. And potentially on the other side or other areas of your head where there is no patches, but it's just regular hair, it could be having the regular, you know, you brush it and you see hair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I've not had it, I suppose, luckily I have, because I've addressed this so quickly. I haven't had the alopecia long enough. And hopefully I won't have it for too long to know whether I'm not going through like cycles of this yet, because I haven't, you know, like, I know some people say they go through like cycles of hair shedding, and hopefully like you, I will get to the point where I'm not even, it's not even an issue, you know. But like under here, like I've got a patch which is, it's not started, it's still like here, but when I messaged you to get this meeting, I was thinking, oh, I've still got new ones kind of cropping up. When I had this one, they were all cropping up gradually, one there, and then gradually just getting bigger, and one at the back of my head. And then, but since probably in the last few weeks, I haven't noticed anything new. This one here, which I was like, oh yeah. When they took this hairpiece off, I can completely view that one with the hairpiece on because it's just like a top bit. But it's now got like really fine hairs like in it. So I'd like to think that that's a positive step. And I haven't like at the bottom here, I know lots of people get complete baldness there, but luckily I've still got all my hair there. But it feels a bit cold. But then I'm not sure whether that's just because this bit's nice and warm now. And but I keep saying to my husband, is there something new? And he's like, no, I don't think there is. So it's not, nothing's suddenly showing itself like it had been before. Like since July, things were just popping up all over the place, the patches. So I'd like to think that I'm in that, you know, moving forward. So I think unless there was any like major new, I mean, if there were new patches, obviously then that would be probably a worry, or like I'm not saying that I've sorted everything out. Obviously it's going to be hard to get everything sorted.
There is a tipping point and your body talks to you with a cold, with a cough.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've all got this. Yeah.
Anything, your body tells you when it's at its tipping point.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head, really. You know, I didn't have children till, you know, I started work at 18, and literally I've been the type of person I am. I want to always kind of do everything to my absolutely, like 110%, you know, that's just the way I am. And I'm not going to change that. I've just got to kind of just like balance it better, I think. And so I think I'm all moving in the right direction, but I don't think giving up my job is necessarily the answer.
And for us, maybe we just like throw it under the rug, like it's not a big deal, we've already moved forward. But then when you're given the space and the time to open up and you're like, oh wow, this can be healed mentally, emotionally, physically, right? And so once you give yourself that time, which is a weekend, it's a quick weekend, it's kind of like all that garbage gets cleansed. And before I was very reactive to certain people, and now it's just like I don't react. It just doesn't bother me anymore.
I feel like the course has definitely helped me really refocus on my life. So hopefully I'll send you some pictures. I think you'd probably like to see my hair pictures.
I would love to.
I'm very selective about who I show because they are a bit strange, like fluffy white hair everywhere. But anyway, you know, I have found that that's really useful, because at first I was really scared about going to work because I work in like a company that's quite image driven, and I've always taken a lot of pride in what I look like, maybe not at 6 a.m. in the morning, but you know, and so suddenly to lose my hair, I just felt so like worried about going to work and what people would think. But I actually found that by telling people, so I think I've told most people I work with now, they've all been really kind. And although I don't know what reaction I thought I was going to get, but people have been kind. And so it's been actually good to let people know. I think I found that quite useful, to just, because at first I was like, I'm so embarrassed, I can't even have my mum and dad come around, this is ridiculous, I know everyone's going to say I'm really stressed and that's why it's happened, and you know, but actually everyone's been really kind, and like people have actually highlighted the fact that, you know, you really just go out of your way for everybody else and you never think about yourself. And so it has made me, it's kind of brought lots of nice qualities out of everybody, and like focused on the positive, my positives, which is nice, because I just thought everybody would judge me on my hair, and felt like my head looked like an old lady's head, you know, like because I thought if I walked down the street I'd be like, oh gosh, you know, that's a bit unfortunate that somebody's got hair like that, and then suddenly it's me, and so it's been really nice to see people's kind ways. But did you notice, like, when, you know, you said you get like a lot of itching, did you used to always get reactions like that before, or was that since you didn't know, since you did the
the itching happened as my hair was growing back in, and it felt like it was on fire. I actually have some questions for you.
Yes.
How would you rate the program from 1 to 10, and what were some of like the highlights that you found?
I think the program is excellent. I think, like I said, it's very overwhelming at the beginning because it's a lot of information, and it's trying to juggle that all with your busy life, which I think most people probably that are doing this course have probably got careers and things. So, you know, it's not the easiest, but I think it's a really good program. It's been really, really great. Thank you. I've just, you know, really, really enjoyed it. It's been intense. It's been hard, but I think it's proved to me like what a determined person I am, and, you know, and how.
Yeah. You've already seen hair growth in week 2.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You're a huge warrior. I mean, battling cancer, going through alopecia, and now reversing it. And this is huge. So kudos to you, because it shows how much of a strong person you are, of like a fighting character you are. And in many ways, we have to be this way to fight alopecia. You have to give it your all. You have to go with 100%. You can't just, you know, be like, oh, dip my toe in the water, because that's not going to happen. It has to be full-heartedly.
No, I can see your passion, and I really loved that. Thank you.
Yes. Is there anything else that you would recommend, or any feedback you would give to someone who's on the fence for joining the program?
I don't think I'd have any reservations. I'd just say you've just got to do it. I think the program's great. I don't think I could really, and I'm quite good at criticizing things and like analyzing things, but no, I think it's really, really good. I think I'd like to think that I can continue to contact you and, let you know how I'm doing, because I don't want to just be a number I don't believe that's not how it feels. I'd like you to, obviously you're very interested in seeing how people are progressing, but yeah.
I love to see the fairy tale endings, because, I'm not one for Disney movies. I mean, I like them, but, sometimes real life doesn't happen that way. But in my life, in my line of work, I do see the happy endings. Biggest payoff is seeing the satisfaction in other people's lives and how it's transformed them and their happiness in their life, and how it affects every area of their life, with their children, with their husbands, with, their partners, with their jobs,
totally
everything.
This has been like the biggest challenge we've had in our relationship, I would say. We're getting very narky with each other, I'm very touchy about everything, and so it's been a big challenge. But if anyone was on the fence, I wouldn't even have hesitation of recommending it, because like you said, you can spend all this money. Before I came on the course, I spent hundreds, if not thousands, on going to dermatologists, doing all of this kind of thing, and I can just see the same message coming out through these people, and that's not what I want to be doing. I've always been very keen to be kind of healthy and go for like the alternative route, but alternative to medication. And so, I would be I'd suggest it to anybody that had this issue. In fact, I kind of like see people in the street that I can see have obviously got alopecia, and I kind of almost want to tell them about it, because, I know some people can't afford these things, and the supplements and everything have cost a lot of money, but, it's not it. Like you say, there are ways of getting around budget issues, aren't there? Because I like to learn about things, and, it's been really interesting. Thank you. I still haven't done the thyroid masterclass, but I need to do that. So I'll listen to that in the next few days. But really, really good. Thank you.
Excellent. Just one last question. How was the healthcare with the NHS, with the situation in the UK? How did they react or treat or help you or not help you with alopecia?
Right. They have helped me zero. So I went the day that I found out I had this, my husband suddenly said, Emma, you've got a big patch of hair on the back, big bald patch on the back of your hair. I literally went into like meltdown and felt like I was going to have a panic attack. I've never felt like that before. And I went straight to the doctors because I managed to get an appointment that day. And I didn't get to see a doctor. I got to see a nurse practitioner. And basically she said, well, you've lost a bit of hair. Yeah. It's your age. Everything's going against you, really. Your age, the fact that you've got 2 young children, stressful job, children, your age, you've got, it's all going against you. That's why that's happened. And didn't have any understanding of it. No understanding at all. No real interest. I said, do I need any blood tests? She said, no, you don't need blood tests. I said, well, I booked in to see a private dermatologist. She said, oh, right, well, you probably need to see a trichologist. That's the hair, isn't it? Like a hair specialist. I said, right, okay. And it was literally just shrugged off. I felt like that was really, really poor. I could have gone off then, not been able, I felt really, really down at that point. And her reaction to that was just really bad, I felt. And so since then, I've been to see a couple of private dermatologists who, have been okay. But again, like I say, they're just putting on that plaster, aren't they? They're not dealing with the root cause really. And so, I did follow up because I said I had full blood count. Because the dermatologist requested that, I had a full blood count at my doctors through the NHS, and they came back with one of the markers, which was the AIG, I think it was, or it was one of the autoimmune indicators anyway. And I said to them, the doctor kind of said, oh yeah, when I spoke to her on the phone, she said, oh yeah, the bloods all look fine, but the AIG was slightly raised, or whatever it's called. And then nothing, that was it. And so the dermatologist said to me, well, that's been raised. So have they not requested a repeat one? And I said, no. And so literally I said to my cancer nurse though, who's telling me that my thyroid is up and down, levels are up and down. I said, nobody's putting together the pieces of the puzzle. That's me again. I'm having to deal with it. I've got alopecia now. I've got this thyroid thing. I feel like I need to see a proper autoimmune specialist to tell them, not that I really want to now. I don't really, I'll sort it out myself by doing your course. But, somebody should be looking at the whole picture. Everyone goes on about how great the NHS is, but actually I felt totally unsupported. Like nobody is in my doctor's practice going, oh, we need to contact Emma because she's going through this. I could be kind of spiraling into a deep depression because actually it's been really, really hard the last few months. I've been so up and down, and that's not me. I'm not usually like that. I've just been completely unsupported. So somebody who didn't have the drive and the ability and the financial ability to be able to do anything more would just be completely just left to suffer. To her, she showed absolutely no knowledge of alopecia there by saying it's just your age, it's just a stressful job, you've got 2 young toddlers. It's nothing to do with. In fact, I don't believe, then the dermatologist said didn't believe it was anything to do with like female, pattern hair loss. It wasn't that. That's what she was almost implying. But she didn't have any idea, did she? That nurse, no. She didn't know.
And that's the problem when people speak out of line, when people speak and their words are hurting the patient or the client so much more further because you could be misdiagnosed. And I see this all the time with my clients. They're misdiagnosed. And even for somebody as keen as you, and you knew exactly what it was, you knew it was alopecia areata, you knew that this was growing and it needed to be worked on immediately. I just did a podcast about healthcare around the world because I've lived in the Netherlands. I have friends in the UK and of course clients, but then also in Canada and in these socialistic countries of healthcare, right? They always come in the top 10 of like best healthcare, but then it's just like, I start scratching my head. I'm like, no, there's a different picture. There's a different side to these stories. And I felt it too. In the Netherlands, it was awful, like zero support, zero help. And it was just, A, I think it's customer service. B, I think it's also lack of knowledge and lack of like what to do. And then C, they also don't have the resources or even have the wherewithal to say, you need this, you need that. They don't even know like what step one is. And so of course they can't help you. And it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. And so this is where you and me and all my other clients take matters into their own hands because that's the only way.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I'm glad I've got the kind of drive in me, and that's the type of person I am to like sort this because otherwise I wouldn't be in this position now. So I'm battling on.
Absolutely. And you're doing a fantastic job. Please keep me posted with all the hair growth, with all the progress. Happy holidays to you, to your husband and family, children. And I look forward to hearing more of your success.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe I'd like to just have another call like this, maybe in like February, March time, just to like show you how I'm doing and like any other issues I've got, and hopefully not.
Absolutely. Anytime.
I hope I won't have this hair piece on then. Yeah, thank you. It's been really nice. It's just really nice to feel like I've got somebody who's like who becomes a bit of a friend who in you that that gets it and gets where
I understand it, and I'm in your corner 100%.
It's a very lonely place.
I'm here for you.
Thank you. It is a lonely place, isn't it? As you know, trying to get through this. However much support you have, my family are very supportive. I've got 2 sisters; they're all very supportive. But everybody's busy, and so it's nice to just know somebody that actually. My mum says, "I feel like I'm going through this with you." I think, well, Mum, you don't feel like you don't know. I know that sounds horrible, but you don't.
It's true.
You're not losing your hair. Yeah. So
it's true.
Yeah. So it's just a bit of a lonely place. So it's nice to know somebody gets it. But thank you.
Yes, and I'm here for you at any point, whether it's in 2 years, 2 days, or 2 months. I'm here for you. And
that's great. That's answered all my questions. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. I'll keep you posted.
Kudos to you. Absolutely. Kudos to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Take
a
care.
lot. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.